Good evening, everyone. This is Srikant Rajan from mpiinvest.com and welcome back to the evening market podcast. What a day it was. As we were discussing in the community, I know in my entire career of stock market, I have not seen such days where the market is so very volatile. Has to be a limit. There is no limit and there is no levels, there is no trend. Oh my God, where is market heading off to? Of course, things are getting very difficult for traders, and stop losses are hitting on either sides of the market. And yes, I have actually changed my strategy for trading, and we have gone into more of a positional trades for a short term than going for an intraday. So intradays have been completely stopped with this kind of situation. Well, the market also was kind of playing with us. It started in the morning, as I told you in the pre-market podcast. Since of course I had some other work, I did make the report quite early today at 6:30 when SGX Nifty was just open. So at that time we were indicating a big gap down at 16,150, but and also the US futures were also down at the time. But by the time around 9:15, when I was kind of back to the market and I just looked at them, I could see the US futures were already kind of climbing up, and SGX Nifty was also slightly up, and we could see a gap up opening in Nifty, and it opened at 16,248. Right, it was almost 100 points more than what I had told you in the pre-market podcast. So that's exactly the kind of movement that's too big a movement in such a small time, and that's exactly why I am making my morning podcast around 8:30 so that I can give the latest report. So that since I made it slightly early, we could not have that. But then yes, it was a positive thing. We opened with a gap up, and right from the word go, we could see the Nifty flying off and crossing 17,300 like there was nothing there. But from there again came the fall, and from there the fall did not sustain for long. Again it went on to a bullish mode and went on to cross 17,400 also. Now things had to at least settle somewhere here. But then if you looked at what happened in the last 1 hour, I want you to open the charts of Nifty in the last 1 hour and have a look at it. Of course, I've shared some screenshot in the community. You can just go look at that as well. What a selling came in. The FIIs are kind of determined that they have to create some havoc in India and then only go out. So there was a big sell-off that came in right from 16,375. The market fell down and came to almost 16,200. That is almost 175 points fall in just a matter of few minutes. Finally, the Nifty actually closed at 16,240, but then if you look at the FIIs, they continue to sell heavily, and they have sold for almost 4,000 crores today. Yes, they sold for 3,960 crores, whereas the DIS have bought for 2,958 crores. So things are looking bad in terms of the FIIs, the biggest problem to Indian market right now. And that too before the inflation data coming in from the US. So we could see the markets kind of really uncertain. But what came off, the only sell-off was happening because of the FIIs. Because even when this big sell-off was happening in India, the US futures were kind of positive. In fact, the US futures were continuing to be positive, and right now as we speak, I'm just looking at the US market. The US market opened with a big gap up but could not sustain. Again there came the selling, and right now it is again in negative. If you see, as of now, Dow Jones is minus 0.24%, S&P 500 is 0.07% negative, and Nasdaq, which had gone to, of course Nasdaq fell further but then kind of recovered, and still as of now it is just 0.26% negative. So things are of course not looking good, but let us see how the market in US closes tomorrow morning. We'll have more discussion on that. Now, as I told you in the podcast earlier, the metal prices were set to go down as per a report, and we could see the effect of that in the market today. The entire Nifty metal sector was down. We could see big names like Tata Steel, Jindal Steel, all of them ending down by almost 5 to 8% down. So that was something not looking great, and like I told you, it is time we need to use some opportunity when it rises to exit and reduce the positions in the metal sector. Now, moving apart from that, we also saw great power in FMCG and the banking sector, which actually gave power to the Nifty today. And I had also told you Reliance is at a very good level, which is almost 2,500, and that is also kind of, even though in the morning we saw some selling in Reliance, there was some recovery in Reliance, which actually gave some support, along with great support from the banking sector and also the FMCG sector, which actually took up the market and kind of stayed above the average till the end of day. But end of day, the big sell-off actually brought in some confusion in the market. Now it is time we again had to wait till the Nifty can actually close above 16,300 and stay there. So if you look at some stock specific news, Hindustan Unilever actually was the top gainer today. It ended up 3% higher after Malaysia came out and said that they are cutting down their export tax on palm oil. I have discussed this earlier. Palm oil is a very important ingredient for FMCG companies, which is into making of biscuits and cakes and all this stuff. So there is that effect of higher pricing on palm oil, which can actually help the companies gain or lose. Similarly, we had Asian Paints. Asian Paints results came out today, though it did not meet the street's expectation. The market sometimes really acts funny, and we could see the stock moving up by almost 3%. And with all this huge demand in India for the coal India was the top loser in Nifty 50, going down by 7.5%. Now, isn't this crazy? Right? So, this is how the market is reacting right now. The selling has no reason, the buying has no reason, but things are kind of going on with such huge volatility. Coming to some IPO specific news, we saw the Rainbow Children's Medicare listing at a discount of almost 17%. So, if you remember, the issue price was at 542, but it ended the day at 510, 17% lower. So things are not looking good there, though I was kind of expecting at least a decent kind of plus. But this is why I say IPOs are something that we cannot trust. Anything can happen. Coming to the next IPO, which started today, which was Prudent Corporate Advisory Services. In fact, they have lapped up almost 36%, and the retail portion has been booked up 72% as of now. So on the first day, it's kind of good subscription. Let us see how things go in the next few days. However, I am not very keen on this. Let us see how this IPO gets going. So apart from that, if you see, things are not looking good for the IT sector again, because Nasdaq is still weak. We need to see how it reacts and closes in the morning, so that I can tell you how we could expect the day tomorrow. So look forward to catch up with all of you tomorrow in the morning podcast to discuss more about it. However, one thing I'm happy about is Nifty is still trading strongly above 16,000. So 16,000 is one major resistance, support, which I am looking, for Nifty to take up. But if that is broken, things can be actually very bearish. So, when markets are down, there are a lot of negativity spread. There are a lot of people coming out and talking about all negative things, but then this is all just a passing phase. We need to go through this. So, there are times when market actually tests our patience to the max. Probably finally when we exit the market is when it starts to rise. So, it is we who have to hold on. We are good investors, good traders, informed investors. That helps us to make money from the market. So let us go ahead and keep adding some good stocks. I am sure things will be good. In fact, if you see, Axis Bank is already coming close to its 52-week low. So it's time we start adding up stocks like this and improve our portfolio. So with that, it's time you get a good night's sleep. Let's discuss more in the morning market podcast, and let us see how we make money in the stock market. So till then, this is Srikant. I'm signing off. Goodbye. Good night.